people are really clear on what they want. And one of my questions is deal breakers, and that's always really fun to look at too.
Yeah. Oh, I bet. Can you share any of those?
Sure. As someone said, well, it's not a deal breaker, but I love tattoos.
Ah,
So it's not no tattoos. It's the opposite.
yeah.
It's not a deal
Yeah.
breaker, but I love tattoos. Or it's not a deal breaker, but I really like beards. I'm like, okay.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
you get paid to do this. It sounds so fun. Today we're joined by empowerment mentor and connector extraordinaire, Natalie Cutler-Welsh, founder of Up Your Brave and matchme.co.nz. Natalie helps people find real love and deeper alignment, and together we explore how conscious matchmaking and empowered living can lift our collective vibration and bring more heart, courage and care into the world. Welcome, Natalie.
One of the phrases I use a lot is I'm here to shine the light. I'm here to shine the light on people, problems, and possibilities so that we can come together and help heal humanity. That is what I realized and verbalized probably 3 years ago. I have been technically in business for about 13, probably 14 years now. I'm the only entrepreneurial person in my family. I'm the only holistic health type person in my family. I'm the only spiritual type person in my family. I'm sure a lot of your listeners can relate to that. It is not an easy road. It is an exciting road. It's an exciting time right now in history. I'm genetically Kiwi, fifth generation. I was born and raised in Canada. So I have this beautiful fusion of being super friendly and also outgoing and positive and seeing the best in people while also being able to verbalize what I can see very clearly in front of me, which people don't always want to hear, which is sometimes a hard role to play.
And that we have that a lot in our listenership as well. So people knowing that they're here to serve and then only seeing kind of one system to serve. And that's where I think, I know where Heart Place Hospital is providing another example of a system that can serve all parts of us so that all the black sheep can find each other and we can create the change that's so needed right now in the world. I wonder if you can share kind of what that journey's been like for you. Sort of mentioned it's not easy. I really love painting the picture that it's simple, not easy. Once you pop, you can't stop. That there's just continuous growth. But there is wraparound care. There is many of us who are like, actually, we've had the lived experience, we've got the maturity, and we're now here providing the support. I think you agree. We're guides and doulas and stewards as opposed to helping and fixing.
When I say shine the light, I do what you do, interviewing people, shining the light on them, but also shining the light on the path, but not necessarily like putting them over my shoulder and taking them there myself. And I think that's a little metaphor for what you were just saying. We're showing people the way or the possibility, but not doing it all for them. Because, we've all been there. We've tried to do it all. It's exhausting. You end up with health issues. So now we're taking a better path.
Absolutely. Our body is totally our messenger, right? And we're pretty quick at thinking that there's something wrong, bad and broken with us. All it's saying is, no, not this way. There's another way. So yeah, definitely the lighthouses or the light at the top of the lighthouse, I guess. I wonder if you can share any sort of good, bad or ugly stories in that journey.
I would say right now things are flowing and going in terms of what you were saying before, better and easier than ever before. But it hasn't always been that way. And I've actually found business quite fun and amazing, but also quite exhausting. And I'm definitely a go-getter. So if anyone knows human design, I'm a 3-5 in human design. I do have a lot of energy. I have a lot of get up and go. I'm not super fussed with what other people think, which means I'm happy to try things and do them quite quickly and change direction if they're not working or if they don't light me up or if I'm bored of them. So that's all helpful when you're an entrepreneur. But COVID, obviously, those 5 years were just super traumatic in different ways for everybody. For me, relationship wise, they were just the breaking point. And I mean friendships, but I also mean marriage. And I also mean making things tricky within my family with relatives who don't see things my way, which is most of the people. That was the hardest time because not only were they not really into what I did, which is like, I interview and support and coach holistic health practitioners and people that spirituality. So not only were they never really into that, now they were actually actively against what I was saying. So that was definitely the hardest point in my life. And I've had other challenges like the Christchurch earthquake, multiple back injuries, but that was the hardest point in my life and my business.
I just really wanted to point that out to our listeners. And I think it's a really good segue into why you're leading matchme.co.nz. In the sense that when people do connect in and step into what you're offering, then they've got a real guide who's got lived experience of kind of all types of relationships. So yeah, let's dive into MatchMe. Tell me all about it.
Well, this is my new thing. And it's really just a new, beautiful, and absolutely in alignment addition to what I already do. So, what I am pretty much known for is I'm a super connector. I love people. I love to listen to them, get to know, feel their energy, and then connect them to others that can mutually benefit. So, I do that in a business perspective for entrepreneurial people, mainly speakers, authors, coaches, healers. So I've been doing that for many, many years. And now I've added the romance side of it, which gets me so excited. And people are like, oh my gosh, Nat, this is perfect for you. If anyone can do this, you can do this. You know, I've never had so many people cheering me on. I've never had so many people message me and say, oh my God, this is like amazing for you, or I heard about it. They're so interested. I've had people wanting to collaborate with me more than ever before. And I've even had people message me saying, can you send the invoice? Have you sent it yet? Because I can't find it. Like people asking for like, how can I pay you? So these are all really good things for someone who does business. Important part of it is I'm totally in my wheelhouse doing what I love and what I'm really good at. And I have a wider mission. And my mission is to raise the frequency on the planet. I'm not just a matchmaker. My mission is to raise the frequency on the planet, and love is one of the highest frequency. And my specific mission at the moment is to help 100 people find love before 2026, by the end of 2025. That's exciting. So yes, I am matchmaking people, but the real mission is to help people find real love and raise the frequency on the planet.
I love it. And I know I was one of those people that reached out to you and sent you a message because I've walked alongside several friends who have been online and dating, and I just was floored by the caliber of men and their poor photos and their poor profile, when these women are literal goddesses with these amazing photographs and amazing bios, and I'm like, where's the match? Someone needs to get out there and create some matching, some real guidance on this. So I was like, perfect. I'm curious to hear like what you're attracting now, like all the matches that you've got, all the people that you've got in MatchMe now. Are you finding that they're worked through a lot of their boundary wounds? Are you finding that they're probably more in their light and their consciousness?
I would say yes. I don't even know if I say conscious connections on the landing page, the information page. I possibly do. But I think that the difference is because it's for relationship ready singles. So this is part of my phrasing, my intentional languaging is for relationship ready singles, and because it's referral only. So they have to know somebody that I know, and I do know a lot of people. They have to actually know somebody that I know well enough to endorse that person. That shifts the caliber of the people who apply. That shifts things because they're relationship ready. So these are people that are either sick of being on the apps or never went on them in the first place. They love the fact that it's confidential. So it is conscious, it's confidential, meaning there's no gallery of people's faces. There's nothing to swipe through. Strangers can't read about. Nobody knows who's on my books except for me, basically. And I really like that. It's a private, it's old school matchmaking for relationship ready singles. And that shifts who shows up. Of course, the people that are in my world, in my orbit, a lot of them have done the work and are still doing the work. So that also shifts the caliber of people who come in. But I'm also going wider. It is New Zealand wide because a lot of people say, well, yes, they tick the proximity box for someone in my city, someone 3 to 4 hours away, or New Zealand wide, because they want the right person, not just the person down the street.
Yeah. And gosh, when I actually think about that, I think, because there's obviously lots of silver linings from the COVID days. Now we're kind of more nomadic. That makes a lot more sense. Whereas possibly 5 years ago, that wouldn't have been so much an option for people to think that way, to, consider that.
Absolutely. I mean, I meet with everyone as much as I can in person for a coffee, like 45 minutes. This is after they've filled out the long, in-depth questionnaire. And so just so I can get a feel for their energy, I can glean some more gold, which is what I do, asking the questions. And this guy yesterday, he's like, well, of course, it would be great to have someone in the same city, but I have the means and I'm more than happy to jump on a plane for somebody, on the weekends. And then hopefully, eventually we'd end up in the same place. And for a lot of my people, relationship ready obviously can mean different things. brings. So for example, some people are in their 30s and they're ticking the box like, I want to get married and have kids, right? And then there's other people like me in their 50s, we've done the kids, they're all teenagers or partly grown up, and we're not ticking that I want to have kids box. Some people want to live together, other people don't. But relationship ready means different things to different people. But I love that people are really clear on what they want. And one of my questions is deal breakers, and that's always really fun to look at too.
Oh, I bet. Can you share any of those?
Sure. Usually it's smoking and vaping comes in. Really, all smoking, vaping, drugs, the common ones. Some people say it's not a deal breaker, but I would really don't want someone shorter than me. That comes in. Another interesting one is someone said, well, it's not a deal breaker, but I love tattoos. So it's not no tattoos. It's the opposite. It's not a deal breaker, but I love tattoos. Or it's not a deal breaker, but I really like beards. I'm like, okay.
Oh my gosh, you get paid to do this. It sounds so fun.
Jacqui, it's interesting because many, many years ago, if anyone said to me, Nat, if you could only do one thing, because I do many, many things. Right. If you could only do one thing, what would you do? And I go, you know what? I would love to just sit and talk to people. And I do this and ask them questions and just glean from them and then connect them to someone who can really help them and get paid to do it. And that's literally what I'm doing. I'm getting paid to connect people, not so much for business, but for love and building a future together. And I really see myself, this might sound crazy, but I really see myself at weddings. Like I see myself, holding babies, having babies named after me. Yeah. I really see that. And I think that's important.
That too. Yeah. I see it you too.
In the vision. Like that's for people that want that. I want that for them.
Yeah. And that's so much the work that we do here. We're here to rise those up, the light workers up. And like you said, raise the collective frequency, and it's such a cool way to do it, Nat. It's so cool. And honestly, you've been in Earth School ready to do this. Making sense of everything makes sense that you're actually now in this position.
It is interesting because I started off as a parenting author. So I started off as someone who knew all about adding babies to the marriage mix and how tricky that made things. And no one really talked about how much it shifted the marital relationship and dynamic when babies come along. Now I'm in the teenage stage, but that was the start of my journey. And so I do have a lot of insight and wisdom. And because I've interviewed over probably 700 people now as a podcast host over the years, I've got a lot of collective wisdom that I've shared from other people as well.
I talk about, the woman in their 50s, we've got this wisdom, but we've still got the energy to create. We don't have to worry about creating more children, but we've still got that actual energy to continue creating. So I know that it's the mothers and the grandmothers who are alchemizing any sort of grief that they've had into love that are creating the change that the world, and we've seen it, right? We've known each other for a few years now, and that these conversations are hyper normal. I mean, obviously we now choose what circles we swing in, but it's just so hyper normal to talk about showing up and being ready and committing and doing, shifting from the old paradigm into the new paradigm. So then what happens? So do you then use your intuition? Is that the next step to connecting them for rendezvous?
So I'm part geeky, I've got this massive questionnaire. I've got this really amazing project management system that I use because I have to be very organized in terms of who's received questionnaire and who's finished and who's booked a one-on-one with me. And then I send them the thank you. Like it's quite a process. Also, for really old school, I literally cut out little cards. I don't have any with me, but these little cards, some are blue. Those are the boys. The other ones are gold. That's the girls. And I put their names on it. And I put a few of the summary notes and their age and their location. And I almost use that to move them around when I have an idea of who could go with who. Partly it's intellectual, partly it's feeling into their energy when I meet them and seeing who comes to mind. I have a very good memory for people as well, which helps. And partly I also ask them their human design in the questionnaire. I would say 80% of people know what that is. They don't necessarily know what theirs is, but that is something I will use not so much in the matching, but definitely in the dating stage of things when they're looking at creating a relationship and helping them to understand each other, because I also do Match Me mentoring. If somebody's like, I haven't dated in a while, can you help me with like kind of what to wear, what to say, and how to basically show up as the best version of themselves? I do want people to be the true and aligned current version of themselves, but sometimes it's a big deal. They're really putting their heart out there. It feels exciting and scary for them. So if I can help them and shine the light a little bit or reflect in a mirror back to them, maybe how to show up as the best and true version of themselves, that can help as well. I do use my intuition, definitely.
And so is that an add-on, is it? They can get the Match Me mentoring.
Yeah, I have a couple of add-ons. One of them is a
Yeah.
Match Me mix and mingle event
Uh-huh.
once every 3 months. Another one is a table for six, like a group date, like a dinner, 3 guys, 3 girls, all in the same age range, which has a different energy than a one-on-one. So that's another little add-on for them, which is really popular. We haven't done any yet. I'm going to do a dinner in October and I'm going to do a mix and mingle in November.
That's so cool. And something that's just kind of come up for me, just relating it to the Heart Place Hospital, is because we're hyper-normalizing that we're multidimensional beings, that we're made up of a whole lot of parts to our wholeness, and around hyper-normalizing, understanding and celebrating ourselves rather than pathologizing and medicalizing it. A really big part of that, the sort of base of that, is our inner knowing, or our inner pilot light. And then kind of balanced on top of that is relationships, is our sexuality, these creativities, environments, these work and purpose. But it's such a crucial part is those relationships in our sexuality, hyper-normalizing that. We were designed to experience pleasure, putting more ta-da into our taboos. And so you're a great service for what we're hyper-normalizing at Heart Place Hospital.
Yeah. And one of the questions I have in there is, how important is spirituality, religion to you? How important is physical connection? Very important, not very important, etc. And then I also ask them about their love language.
Nice. Whereas we focus on all the parts, and then we find that manifests a vibrant physical and mental reality. It's definitely missing. It's definitely needed. There's definitely a gap, and we're all about bridging gaps. Thank you for creating a bridge that's needed in the world right now more than ever.
Well, what I was just thinking then is thinking about the work that you're doing, caring for the carers. I remember when you and I first met, maybe 5 years ago, and I interviewed you on RCR. I just think, for people that have been really, those are the nurturers in society. And I meet a lot of people and I'm like, oh, you're a nurturer. It's the teachers, the nurses, the people like that. And it's so easy for them to overgive. Everybody knows this, but a gentle reminder to give to ourselves. And part of that is doing something that lights you up. If you are a generator or manifesting generator, that's your life guidance. If you're a projector, that is not your life guidance. And I think this is important to note, is if you're a projector, your guidance is do what comes easily and effortlessly to you. And that has a slightly different energy than what lights you up. So I think if we do those things and follow our true energy type and we stay in alignment, then we won't over nurture, like deplete ourselves. But we can still do what we love, and we love to nurture people, and we can still do that without burning ourselves out.
And thank you for bringing that up, because I think as the world shifts and as roles and jobs and professions are no longer needed, then there's this massive gap, right, for more people who are here to provide service. And so we can start actually valuing that role and start hyper-normalizing that this is actually a really valuable part of society. And we have more providing that role, we can work less. And so we can give the best of us, not what's left of us.
Yes, I love that. So
Yeah.
true. And I was just thinking, Match Me is growing so much. I'm probably going to need some of your people to help me like in the future. It's growing. And I think everyone, love is a beautiful thing. And even if you're like me, I'm coming out of a 20-year marriage, and some people aren't relationship ready, but those that are, it's really an exciting time to help them. And so, part of that is looking after yourself, so that you can show up as the best true version of yourself.
I agree. And that sort of reminds me of when I find myself in place and I'm like, gosh, what? I'm not showing up as my best self. What's going on here? And I'm realizing it's my amazing, awe-inspiring body telling me this is not where you're meant to be. So it's just all those little nuances that we haven't been brought up with in our educational family systems. I think you're the perfect person, Nat, and I'm really excited to shake my pom-poms and share this with our community. Thank you for upping your brave and stepping into it. And I just wonder if you could share where everybody can find you so they can sign up.
Yes, of course. Come to Match Me. I also do networking for women entrepreneurs as well, but basically everything is on upyourbrave.com. That's the landing page. That's the homepage. And then you can scroll down and look for Match Me, but otherwise matchme.co.nz will get you to the Match Me page.
Oh, thanks so much, Nat. I look forward to sharing this and us all contributing to raising the frequency in this world. It's an exciting time. I've got front row seats for popcorn, and I've I've saved you a seat.
I'm there. Thank you so much. And thank you for everything that Heart Place Hospital is doing.
Thanks, mate. Talk to you soon.